Hey everyone, quick tutorial video on how to utilize this resource. I built a slide deck for you. Feel free to modify it however you want. The slide deck will sort of guide you through the orientation process for students on the Canvas tutorials. So you'll receive a link, looks a little something like this. That'll give you access to the slideshow. Clicking on that link, it'll open it up in a new window. Now, to become an owner of this document, because the share settings on this current document are you can view it. You cannot edit this. This is my master doc. But you can make a copy for yourself by going to File, Make Copy, the entire presentation, and then feel free to rename it whatever you want. Put in your own name. Once you become the owner of this document, again, you can go in and modify anything that's on the slideshow. Now, this is just to get you started. So I've done 4 lessons for you. This will get you through Thursday and Friday. And I think by then you'll get it down. But if you have any questions or you want me to add more slides to the deck, please let me know. This is how it's organized. It's organized by period. And it starts with basically the introduction slide. Now, as you're the presenter, you'll be showing this slideshow to your student. You'll go over the instructions for engagement. You'll specify that students should have 2 tabs open in their browser. One is their Canvas course, and one is their class link, the Google Meet or Zoom, whichever you're looking at or using. The Canvas tutorials are structured in a reproduced way. And so in that regard, as you're giving these lessons, it will always look like this. The teacher presents the module objective or objectives and directs the student to the resource in Canvas. The student independently engages in the resources and then returns to the class meeting after a designated amount of time. In that large group setting, the teacher will take questions that surface for students. Following each of the Canvas lessons is an activity, and we tried our best to pair that with the climate activities. There are only 2 Canvas tutorials that don't have an associated activity. That's the very first lesson and the very last lesson. So this is what it's going to look like for day 1. Day 1, I was more heavy-handed and embedded videos to help sort of establish kind of the flow. Day 2, you'll see the difference. So let's start with day 1. If I'm the instructor, first thing I do is I start with today's objectives. This is what we plan to achieve. On slide 4, you'll see that what I do is I model it together. So if I'm expecting you as a student to toggle over and go through the resources, this is what it looks like. So I walk through that with them and sort of explain and then welcome them back to the classroom. At that point, you sort of take on any questions and then you give it to them. You give them a chance. Okay, it's your turn. So I'm going to set this timer for 5 minutes. I want you to toggle back over to your course. I want you to complete these following activities and then meet me back in the classroom in 5 minutes. The next one is modeling it again. So I say, let's try it again together. Right? So let's do this one more time together. And this one, I do the same thing. I go back over to the course. I review the videos with them, like how they would. And then we welcome them back into the classroom where we can surface any questions. And that's the end of the first one. Now, the second tutorial, which is during period 2, you're going to start the same way. Again, we want a lot of consistency, a lot of norming around how to engage, very clear instructions. So you'll start specifying they have 2 tabs open and what they can expect on how to go through these different modules. Similar to period 1, I model how to do it in the video, and we do the first one together. We return for questions, and then they get to try it on. They get to toggle over and spend 5 minutes exploring the next sections before they return and ask any questions. Slide 17, we model it together one more time. And then there's a chance for any other questions afterwards. Day 2, a little bit different. Same protocols. You'll go over the objectives, but by now they should have it down on how to self-navigate through those modules. You'll set the timer. They have 10 minutes to complete the activities, and then they'll return to the course where you will answer any questions. Then you direct them to their follow-up activity. The activity relates to the climate lesson. So you're going to want to make sure you're doing your Canvas lessons after your climate lessons. For period 4, very similar. Protocols for engagement, objectives, self-directed activity, large group questions, individual activity or engagement. So that's day 1 and 2 of the Canvas orientations. I hope this tutorial video helped. Let me know if you have any other questions.